My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Inscryption, Kaycee's mod. Appropriately here, I'm just gonna put both of the smaller backpacks on. If I can't find my way mentally to use these items, if I can't remember that I have them, I may as well not have as many of them. Tip scales, I also think, is a easy one to toss in our direction. Pricey pelts as well, and then it's just no boss rares or all totem battles. Let's go. No boss rares again. Wait, hang on. Oh, that's only 15 challenge points? Oh, okay. Well, if we can only get the extra 20 from all totem battles, that's the way we've got to go about it then. Oy boy. That's not what I'd intended to happen. I'm happy to take on the challenge, though. Whoop. This is a little bit wonky there. Okay, all good. Hey, let's go check out that oil painting. An elk and a moose bark. Ooh, that's hard. I feel like not all of these are going to be a possible thing that we can really do. So maybe I should just be choosing my battles. Hair pelts. Well, there's the moose buck. So I can get half of my way there. However, there's also an alpha, which looks pretty good. There's a kingfisher and a cuckoo. There's a sparrow, a very cheap flying minion. There's an adder if I want to start getting death touch in here early on. That alpha is pretty appealing. Specifically, the idea that I could give leader from that alpha to the kingfisher, and then the kingfisher is, you know, flying and submerged, so it's going to stay on the field and it's going to attack over the top of the enemy. But anything played on either side of that automatically has damage, including squirrels. I like that. These are exquisite, my thanks. No problem. So our first opportunity is over here, the sacrifice of the alpha into the kingfisher. I think that's pretty definitely what I want to do here. Because otherwise, the only time I'm really going to have enough bones at this point to be able to play the alpha is going to be after everything has died that would want to use it. This also now enables me to possibly get another kingfisher and then start putting sigils on that and think about using mycologists to join those in the end. Their serpents are submerged. Thankfully, that shouldn't be too bad here in the opening, as the enemy's unlikely to have much damage. So I should really just be able to overwhelm them anyway. Sure. We do just need to get a stoat out. Well, not so much need. Right, especially, yeah, they're locking up behind one another. Okay, we're fine. Not any overkill there, but to be fair, I still don't think I'm going to be using that. Let's go for the wider choice. That's a ringworm, baby. That's a very early ringworm. I have to go to the fire now and attempt to sacrifice it. Wish me luck. Oh, it's damage as well. Oh man, this is gonna feel bad because that could go on the kingfisher rather, but it's going on the ringfisher instead. Kill him. No! Please. I mean, it's a 2-1 that only requires one sacrifice in order to summon. It's not awful. But it's pretty bad. Okay. Pop you in that line. You push 2 damage. The enemy attacks over the top of you. And then you push another 2 damage. We'll do basically the exact same thing with the stoat here against the next bee. That ringworm's... Well, I can replace that ringworm next turn with the wolf, because the wolf is still only going to do 2 damage. In this line, specifically with the skunk, I mean. 1 more there. So this turn, we now push lethal, so we just have to try and go for maximum kill. Get him. Simple one. Prospector's Rock. Probably, again, the best choice I can make there. Just get 1 very dense, powerful card. So I don't know if there is any reason to pick, like, the unique ones here, because this one in the middle has only 2 dots on this left-hand middle side. The other ones have 3. This one only has 2 dots on its bottom right-hand side. The other 2 have 3. So, like, each of them has uniquenesses. In fact, like, you know, the pixels lining up on this split at the top is different in each of them. Alright, that one. Interesting. I tried to pick the one that was the least deviant from a basic model. As in shared the most features with the rest of them. I don't know if that actually worked or if I just got lucky. I won't allow you to take any more items. In their stead, take this. Oh boy. You know what? It's probably good that we got a pack rat, because now I have to use my items. Like, I'm forced to. Every time I draw the pack rat and don't use an item, I am losing value. Here we go. Get out there, Packy. Oh, pack rat. That did not. Yeah, not all words can work in that same way. Stoat on a free line. Yeah, just slightly short of lethal here. The fresh opossum is not huge for me. I wonder if I should use it early. Yeah, I'll hold off here and just win the fight. But in particular, I was wondering whether I should use it early for freeing up that space. Oh, we're gonna get another pack rat. I messed up. I should have used an item. I was like, there's no way there's a pack in 2 spaces time. I know what's directly ahead of us, and that's not a pack. So, therefore, that must continue. Like, unkillable is not a bad sigil to have on something. Not at all. But maybe there's better sigils here. Ooh, like unkillable. Damn. Now that's value. I'm gonna try and burn the ringworm again, and it's gonna just be completely fine. Yeah, thanks. Oh, another card. Oh, I'm so happy about it. I'm so low on resources right now. We're gonna have a 5 damage ringworm. Sorry, it'll be 4. That's totally reasonable. Oh, buddy. Guy. All right. Well, I don't know exactly how we intend to bail ourselves out here. But we don't have to make that decision right now. You beheld an immense man slouched beside a mucky pond. He appeared to be tearing hunks of flesh from a fish corpse. Some chunks were thrown back to the pond, where a few ghoulish birds snapped them up, and some were sloppily pushed into the hulking man's mouth. Go fish. Okay. There's our pack rat. Or one of them. The frozen opossum has frozen away. When a card bearing the sigil perishes, the creature inside is released in its place. And also, that is not a sacrificable unit, I'm pretty sure. Yes. The frozen opossum itself is more terrain than anything else. I mean, I can push 3 damage this turn, which also guarantees a push of 3 damage again next turn, which guarantees that I win. Oh, actually, I can push the full 6 this turn. Kill the cockroach, summon the ringworm. Okay. Not half mad about that. Go push. Yep. So we have a boulder for full blocking one of these for 2 turns. Interesting. So the Kingfisher is going to enable us to fly over the top, pushing in some damage as well as keep the Kingfisher alive. The only problem is putting it in most positions right now just enables the frozen opossum to kill the unit behind it. Whereas really what I'm looking for is more of a like that. Yeah. Go push. So they get their Great White. Attacks this once, and then I need to be able to push damage over that line every turn. And I can do that with squirrels. A squirrel will push 1 damage and then block the next incoming of 4 from the enemy. In fact, I already have a cockroach in hand. I mean, we do need to push the damage. Is there any way I ultimately get to play the pack rat again here? I think not. Right, yeah, no, I'm just pushing 2 damage this turn. Never mind, we win. Specifically, actually, I'll push the 2 damage this turn with the pack rat. But then I should use the item. Okay, I'm going to use the bolter there. Sack both of you for the pack rat here, getting another item. Frozen opossum. I don't want to get another pack rat in the next area, so I'm also just going to summon out that item. I'm learning how to use items by using all 3 in the same turn. Gradually, what I'm going to do is just average out the amount of items I use across all of the turns that I have. Need light? Not in particular before you snuffed mine. That's a Mantis God and an Ouroboros. I mean, there's a long elk there as well, let's be clear. But Mantis God Ouroboros are commanding my attention at this point. We could have a ringworm that attacks 3 spaces at the same time as a 5/1. I mean, yeah. It's almost certainly a good idea. I just wish it wasn't something that was happening. Let me think. Sheets of icy snow battered your body as you fought your way up to a vantage point. The snow-covered trees jutted from the landscape like prickly misplaced teeth. You'd continued on through the snow line. This is a weird one. So that's a trader, but we don't have any pelts. And then we get to sack a card from the deck. We have 2 pack rats in the deck, so we can join those at the mycologist in the worst case scenario of not finding another thing here. So we shouldn't be sacking one of the pack rats. Instead, we're probably sacking Mantis God, very likely at this point, into the ringworm. And then we've only got 1 battle before the mycologist. I kind of like it. Show me some exquisite pelts. Oh, incredible golden pelts. I forgot that I had that. Amoeba. Damn. I kind of want Amoeba. It is relatively cheap material for my deck to have. I will make good use of these. I bet you will, I bet you will. In terms of the sacrifice here, things become a little bit harder though. Because one of the best things that I would be able to do is like... Oh no, because if I join 2 pack rats, I can sacrifice something into it later anyway. Okay, never mind. Mantis, God, into Ringworm. The Ringworm is OP for all of the wrong reasons. Well, your stags are stinky, that's okay. As soon as I manage to get my Ringworm down into free position, we win. Damn, the Amoeba actually has double attack, that's good. Interesting. Not a great hand right now. I almost want to put down a squirrel and a bullfrog, push 1 damage. The elk pushes 2, killing my bullfrog. We're back to equilibrium, but then I have 2 bones, so I can put down the pack rat. Specifically putting down the Amoeba first. But I don't want to sack the Amoeba immediately because it actually has double strike. It looks like it's a pretty spicy minion. I think I might actually just need to hold for a turn. I'm gonna use that squirrel to block an individual instance of damage from this elk. And the problem is I can't stay in this holding pattern forever. Yeah, because the enemy will start spawning minions. So I can put a pack rat over on that left-hand side. It'll have 2 damage, so it will eventually be able to push the damage that'll kill the elk fawn. By summoning the Amoeba and a squirrel. Sucks to give up the Amoeba, but especially with all of the enemies having Stinky, it was, whoa, unlikely to be incredibly useful. The Wise Clock to the user. All cards on board will move 1 space clockwise. All cards on the board. So these 8 spaces, I believe, would have to be the board. Interesting. I hadn't seen that in the main game. I'm finding a lot of items like that, in fact. Uh-oh. Oh, I forgot that mole was going to block the incoming damage. And we go back to individual blocks. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is not looking good. Even with the rotation, I get a sparrow, they get the pack rat. And I'm 1 damage off dead here as well. The squirrel won't save me. Wolf won't save me either. This one we just have to accept our lumps on, I think. I even looked at whether the item would save us. Not at the time. Pity. Another ringworm. Make a very powerful ringworm. There's an elk. We don't have the moose buck, and also we are absolutely flailing right now. So I don't know if the elk is what fixes our problems here. I'm gonna take a reroll here. I'm not entirely certain which this is. Card counter, almost certainly. The value represents something, something, something equal to number of something, something, something. Number of cards in hand is the most obvious one. Which would make it like a really good early... You know what? Let's take it. It'd be a very powerful early minion with that effect. So let's assume it has it. Yeah, so we brought you 2 of the same. Only pack rats though. I mean, it being a 4/4 now makes it like a reasonable minion to actually care about summoning as a priority. It's going to be difficult to guarantee that I can use the other mycologist's area effectively. Can't do too much this turn. I can prevent the spawn of their wild bull by rotating the board. Their boulder moves over one space, prevents that wild bull. Our frozen opossum also moves over one space, so we don't actually end up getting anything out of that. My hand is, again, full of things that I do not have the resources to summon. I feel like this is going to be a consistent problem for us. Yeah, I need to be able to hold off their damage. So they've got porcupines to deal 2 damage a turn. I can now get out a hack rat here, which will push 4, block 1, and then start getting us on the good side. Great. Let's take a basic draw. I'm gonna hold off on this one too. Yeah, because we're not pushing lethal this turn. Alright. And then the cockroach can go in that space as well. Clear the entire line. Might as well. Not enough resources to summon the amoeba. God, I wish I had though. So the question mark managed to become Ishraq, I think. I just don't know how I would control it, or if it's just a thing that occasionally happens, or if it only happens against Leshy. The mycologist is like a long shot to actually find a pair before we get there, unfortunately. So I think we probably just look like blood costs here. I'm looking for low blood or bones. Let's go low blood. That's not half bad. Bifurcated strike on the Paccarat, actually. I don't have to have, you know, 10 damage with trifurcated strike across every single line and double strike at the same time, right? 4 damage 2 times is more than enough at the time. Yeah, especially if I could have summoned it on the first turn. Shame I can't though, so we're gonna have to wait until the second turn to win. Oh. Good ringworm. Oh god, another I couldn't have even known there was going to be a mycologist. Okay, well, I hope I find a pair for one of the things I have. Magpie Black Goat and the unrelenting direwolf. Those lucky enough to survive its first attack may encounter another. All of those would be grand. None of those are pairs. Gimme pairs. Thank you. Because otherwise, in this space, we get to include another extra card in the deck. Whereas this way, we simply have one more powerful card in the deck. You've sliced 2 cockroaches together and made them excellent. It's probably time to get the stoat out of here. Apparently, if you sacrifice the blood goat there, the black goat, you get a different effect. And I just realized I just turned down 2 black goats, I think. Unfortunate. The trapper sat hunched beside his traps, slowly cranking it open. He gingerly removed a mangled hair from the steel teeth, but left that trap unhinged. You shouldn't have come here. I wouldn't have if there were any other direction, but... let's see... Strange frog being played out here as well, so I am going to use a minion. I don't know, I feel like I should just feed the squirrel and the bullfrog over here into the leaping trap. If this could survive a single hit, then I would oppose the strange frog with it definitely, but it can't, so I won't. Unfortunately, I know the only way in here for me is to actually have an open line on which to attack. Ah. That's... Uh-oh. Well, the wolf pelt can protect us against one. Which means I'm going to push 2 damage, 2 cards in hand. Unless I put the wolf belt down where I only push 1 damage and then they push 3 damage in riposte. Yep. That's a big old deck 2 slow that we've run into here. Not enough material. Farewell. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do now. The fan is just flight. All it confers to the player is flight for a single turn, and all of those had flight block. You will make an exquisite build. Rerun. Salty run back. No. Hang on. I'm gonna turn on the boss totems. I don't want to turn off Clover though. Clover is so good. Tip scales is nice. Yeah, it's the way of only getting the extra 5 here that's weird. Fine, back to all totem battles. We'll do the same setup. Hopefully we have a more reasonable challenge being offered here. River Otter and Mole, both of those are only single sacks, and also creatures that I would love a reason to actually take. Have you brought me some fine pelts? Hair pelts? Oh boy. Oh boy. What is... Okay, so take corpse maggots and field mice. You put the corpse maggots in the field mice. It has fecundity and corpse eater. It plays itself when anything dies. Anything that ever dies on the field just summons your field mice from hand. And no, if the field mice die, it summons more field mice from hand. Look. These are exquisite. My thanks. We've gotta. We absolutely gotta. Okay, so if it increases damage, I think we use this as a buff. It increases health. Okay, so instead we'll attempt to use this as removal because it is going to be desperately important that we thin this deck down as quickly and as much as possible to just have that one card available in hand. And then we draw squirrels. We put the squirrels down, and then the card just populates the entire field. It's like I was about to say like a virus because I was thinking like crush card virus, like the population of like small monsters like proliferating in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I was about to say like a virus. I was like, oh, hang on, I've made myself sad. Why am I sad now? Oh, right, because there is one. There is one of those. Yeah, I mean, look, this will do. They push the first damage against us, which means they will kill our creature. But also, that will summon the corpse maggots from hand. Of course. Now, you may find yourself thinking, Raps, did you think that was going to summon the field mice already? And look. It's not important who's right here. I also suspect it's quite likely that we're gonna have like a douse in our near future if I don't do this. And pushes a little bit extra damage. There's some value, I guess, in that. Come on. Okay, no, it looks like I would have had another battle. Yeah, I want a dense card. I like me a gamble. Pick a boulder. So the one with the least variance from the others is this. Not a golden pelt. A worker ant with a skink tail. Yeah, that's just removal fodder. It's a nice delaying tool as well, but definitely removal fodder. I mean, giving Touch of Death to minions is pretty good. The only problem is the Field Mice doesn't have a tribe, whereas the Corpse Maggots do. I could still be offered Gek, which would be a pretty good pickup still. Would ask me to take the Serpent Totem. Also, I do have a Corpse Maggot and a Worker Ant in the deck already, which would ask the Insect Totem of me. I have a plan for the Corpse Maggot to get out of the deck, and then the Worker Ant I'm planning not on being in the deck for that long because its maximum damage is 1. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Serpent Head. The gray-haired woman silently collected her carvings and left. I really, really don't want to have to go here and buy any pelts. But I do want a sack sigil space desperately. It's like the most important thing for us. We haven't been able to find one so far, or at least haven't been able to go to one we have found so far. That's unfortunate. We're not really going to be able to contest the adder in the way that I would have liked. I mean, I guess we will, right? Nope, never mind. It's contesting the skank instead. Okay, taking a look from the main deck. We know that we're just going to go with these two for now, though. And yeah, we're getting to the area of scoop again. So that holds us steady for 1 turn. I can push 3 damage this turn. Still being ahead. And then draw 1 here, and then get an extra damage out on the field. So we would have had enough for another hair pelt if we had have gone in the other direction. Assuming the fight went, you know, similarly or the same. Rattler Snapper Flying Ant. That's a second ant. The Rattler is a good way to actually spend some of my bones, and it's a serpent. There is also part of me that likes the idea of having the flying ant I'm gonna go for a full reroll and look for something more interesting. Rat King and Cockroach. I'll be damned if we didn't hit something incredibly interesting. Corpse Eater. If a creature you own perishes by combat, a creature bearing this sigil in your hand is automatically played in its place. So we could have a cockroach that can't die. It just doesn't seem that incredible, actually. Just because of the statistics of the situation. It might still be Flying Ant. I think it is. Oh, please. Yes, I did use my items. I'll take cutting up an enemy card, thank you, actually. Finally, we get a sigil removal. Again, there was another one on the other side. Damn it. But we do get to finish... Well, they get to finish their totem as well. So, nothing unique there. Hefty pushes in the birds. So I can get some good blocking done by having the workaround attack here. They move forward, try and push, move over. It's like kinda nice, but it's not like it's doing a huge amount. That wriggling leg is actually blocking me being able to respond on that line. I think I should just summon for the kill of that bat there. Yeah, they're still pushing a maximum of 2 damage, and we're pushing maximum of 2 damage this turn as well. We could make it 1 and 1. Let's actually do that. Also taking out the bullfrog, skewing this a little bit better in our position later. That Kingfisher moves over. It's now contested by a bullfrog who's going to be able to block its hit. And we're back on the scoreboard. I think no reason not to continue going. Wriggling Leg's not a minion, right? It looks like a minion type card. Huh, I wonder if I could have actually sacrificed it. We shall never know. Nice. Alright, another random card. I think it's probably too late to collect a mole or a river otter, with the idea that those are going to be essential to what we end up doing. Ringworm. I mean, yeah? It appeals. Flying Ant would give us our first mergeable in the deck, though. And that's going to become really important in the next area. Alright. Let's find the bottom of this totem. Defending or flying? Also change the head. We want defending, right? Because that'll force the spawns of the corpse maggot from hand. And finally, we're actually going to activate that. We've been talking about it this entire time, and now it's actually going to be a thing that happens. Ta-da! Field mice. But yeah, we should be able to, like, as soon as we get the first of them out on the field, we should be able to play with reckless disregard in this fight. You beheld an immense man slouched beside a mucky pond. He ate the hunks. Blind fight. There they are. We got him. We'll push 4 here ourselves. Oh, that Kingfisher didn't kill my flying ant? Oh. Wild. I mean, I already pushed lethal? For this round. So I'm not really going to worry about contesting that. And nor am I going to worry about this. Go push. Now, Great White attacks, kills a wriggling leg. There goes the field mice. Unfortunately, we do kill this turn, but I did want to see the other mate buckets do similar things. You will not perish. Quite yet. What you got for me, bud? Wally. Ooh, Mantis God is damage. Amoeba was interesting there as well, but I feel like I'm low on sigils that I want to sack into other creatures at this point. We will need another map. The relief of the fresh air quickly gave way to a bone-shaking chill. There I'm gonna get a pack rat unless I avoid it. You guessed at the path ahead as the snow increasingly obscured it. You had climbed to the snow line. We're like so an insectoid deck. I mean, I'm gonna be funneled into a fire. I might try it. I kind of want to get an insect head here. I regretted not taking the insect head at the start, as it turned out. And now, all of my flying ants will block the attacks from enemies and summon more field mice. It's precisely how we wanted this to go down. I do really want to buff the stats of the field mice, so it's going to become really difficult to decide, do I put out the ringworm, trying to kill it, so that I can make the field mice better later, or not? Nice. Of course it blocks. That's what it does. How'd I forget? I think I have to cut this card. I probably had to cut it last turn. Space would be struck. I think this works. I think this pulls the mole over, but then it still strikes over the top. Nope. Oh boy, I am not going to be able to remove that card. Thanks, ringworm. Yeah, I deserve this. Scroll over on this side. They push 2 damage next turn. I mean, look, I don't immediately lose. This is the problem with the deck getting thicker and why I always prioritize removals as much as I do. We have 1 card in this deck, which, because we did not draw, we are now... Oh, dear. In trouble, boss. Our raid is about to break down. Yeah. Yep. That'll be all she wrote for my first candle here. Didn't have an item, though. So... How disappointing. Oh, I should have gone for the free choice, not just buying. Yeah, Beehive is nice. This insect's actually going to be pretty handy. It's pumping health. Please kill it. Please. Please. Thank you. Because pumping health on the Beehive would have been nice, but damage is the only one I really care about in the alternative. Yeah, now we care about campfires above and beyond all else. Say removals. Yeah, things like the beehive are going to be useful, and the worker ants are going to be useful in trying to make an equilibrium on the early board. It's just that previous hand was no equilibrium on the early board, as well as no equilibrium ever. How about losing time? That beehive is going to do such great work here. Thank you for the bee. Thank you for the extra bee. How do we want to go about this? Pushing 2 damage on that elk fawn line would be nice. That'd be like sacking 2 bees to summon the wolf. Might be the most appropriate thing we can really do. But then the enemy responds with 3 damage. Elk fawn, porcupine. The elk fawn levels up, pushes 3. We lose. I have access to bones. The bones aren't particularly handy in this position. These bee will automatically attempt to block something as well. That elk fawn could also just be taken out by a bee and a worker ant. Bee sacks for the worker ant. And then if I really wanted to, I could put a... I could put a mantis god over here to strike this elk fawn down. That doesn't feel right. We need that elk fawn down. And we are going to need to contest the other side as well. Thank heck we have so many resources from that beehive, because otherwise this was going to be tragic. Nice. Okay, we're going to take another basic draw from the deck. Flying at... That can't... It can sack the wriggling leg. I wouldn't have thought it was possible. Well, that puts us ahead now. I mean, these are going to teleport to block target attacks anyway. So I think we just have to accept that the porcupine's going to die. There's the field mice. And now I just need 1 turn to be able to put them out. That'll do it. Right. Yeah, that field mice managed to push 2 damage this turn. No, it doesn't. But it does die again. But then you push 2. The order of operations of these kinds of things does befuddle me a little. Certainly. You'll surrender. I mean, that's nice of you. So the squirrel doesn't attack. We're just going to have to organize it in terms of, like, step by step in terms of each space, right? So the squirrel doesn't attack. Field mice attempts to attack. The elk moves over, takes the attack from that. Their alpha, their mole attack. They push 2 damage. They win. I could try and get a flying ant in this space instead, which would push 1 damage this turn as well over the top of the alpha. The problem is they will block all non-flying damage. So if I want to equalize right now, it has to be done with a flying ant. So So the flying ant takes this space. We don't push 2, the elk moves over, prevents that. Flying ant flies, doesn't manage to kill anything. The enemy on their turn pushes 1 damage because the alpha attempts to attack, and then the mole manages to. I could also just squirrel to block that space for safety. For some peace of mind. And that's the kind of turn that I want to have happen, where it's just like, and here's a field mouse, and here's another field mouse. To be clear, Corpse Eater only happens if the unit perishes by combat, which is why I can't do it with just sacrificing things. Which would, admittedly, make it much easier. And that is maximum lethal. Get him. Now we actually might be able to get a reasonable pelt if we have to take a line that happens to have any. Turkey Vulture Kingfisher and a Wolf Cub. We're hard rolling for insects, I think, on this one. That direwolf is deeply appealing. Direwolf in Mantis God. Six strikes per turn. Please sign me up. This increases damage. I feel like I put this on the Mantis God now. Oh my god. Okay, I feel like I'm pretty ready for this. Oh my god, there's the Mantis God. Okay. GG, Mantis God did it. What I'm doing here by building up the Mantis God possibility of giving it a direwolf additional is I'm trying to create a second card. So this is something that I ended up doing after 200 or so episodes of Slay the Spire. Was trying to figure out, okay, so I've got like a primary archetype in this deck. I was still working in the idea of like broad, this is gonna be an archetype, this is gonna be an archetype, that kind of thing, right? You know, thin decking mentality, which I'm definitely carrying over here. And we will exploit to great effect over the course of this series. But building in a secondary strategy such that if I fail to hit my draw or don't get enough draw or removal to be able to hit it, there is more resilience in the deck, is very valuable. As I hope is being demonstrated right now. Direwolf Pop, I would desperately like to put you in the deck, but I need a mycologist bait. That didn't happen to me. Oh dear. I would have liked mycologist bait there. Direwolf. Mantis God. This is gonna be so good. I might want them not to try and block attacks anymore if there's a better... Oh, wow. Get an item from every one that I play. Get 4 bones from every insect that dies. I don't think I want that one. I'm gonna go for the item from every one that I play. And I think I will take that, actually. Why not? Seems like it could be a good time. Can they offer you the squirrel totem head? I haven't been offered one here. Just like to know if it's possible. You took in the familiar sights and scents of the trapper's pens. But something was different. The once friendly man now beheld you with a steely gaze. I'm afraid I must be skinning you today. Alright, bud. You're more than welcome to try it on. You're more than welcome to come and have a go if you think, yeah, enough, mate. Okay, Beehive wants to go over on the left-hand side, start blocking that. Start blocking that strange frog. A boulder. perhaps, at some point. Do I put it out now? I mean, if I'm ever gonna summon another thing next turn, yeah, I guess might as well. Oh god, all of the bees are gonna give me an extra one as well, because they are also insect types. I did forget about that. Okay, leave them trappers jumping up. I do feel like sacking bees into them is probably the easiest way for me to go about it. I'm not gonna Timo Reverso right now, no. Thank you. Taking a lot of damage. I'm not dealing any. Those are just two observations I had, one after the other. So my bee can attack over the top of their rabbits. I want to shift the spaces right now. I get a rabbit. That's pretty good. Some free resources. And also it frees up the ability for me now to actually play other things like flying ants. Let's drop a flying ant in this position. Then a bee sacks for, actually I will, sacks for another flying ant. Black only. And now we just need to hold equilibrium where it's available. This is gonna sound very weird, but the reason that I think I misplayed there is because I was trying to make sure I used all my items and got value out of them, but I blocked the lane where I could have actually attacked the enemy on, and as a result, couldn't do anything in my own line. I'm not saying there was no way for me to save myself there. I didn't even see that as a problem at the time. I was like, okay, I clear this space, I clear this space. Misplay. Let me increment this, plus. But also, I was trying to use items. Please. So what I've done is I've misplayed in the opposite direction to previous misplays, and ultimately over the course of the series, those are gonna average themselves out into successful runs consistently. For the moment though, my name is Rhapsody. Up at the top left is the series playlist for all my content of the game past, present, and future. Down below is YouTube's recommendation for what it thinks you should watch next, and streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays at or above the $10 tier. And a special thanks this episode to Jazzy. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see y'all next time.